Hi you guys, I'm ready for Module 15 review. This was a pretty quick module, so the review shouldn't be too tricky, hopefully. But I'm on page 417 in your math workbook, so grab your books and a pencil and we'll go through this. So the first section is on vocabulary, and so it has our little vocabulary section here. So we have the symbol for equal, symbol for greater than, and the symbol for less than. Then we have a denominator and numerator. Number 1 says, use a symbol to complete the comparison. 1/4 of a mile is blank, then 1/2 of a mile. So these fractions have the same numerator. The number on top is 1 for both of these fractions. The denominators are different. So when the numerators are the same, we look at the denominators and the bigger number on the bottom tells us that there's more equal parts in the whole. So those equal parts have to be smaller. So the bigger the denominator, the smaller the part. So that would mean 1/4 of a mile is less than 1/2 of a mile. Okay. Number 2, the blank of a fraction tells how many equal parts are in the whole. So is it the denominator or the numerator that tells us how many equal parts in the whole altogether? That's the denominator. So you would write denominator. The blank of a fraction tells how many equal parts are being counted. So how many parts are being counted, how many parts are being shaded, that is the numerator, the number on top. Excellent. All right, so number 4 says, Megan colors 5/6 of her sheet of paper. Natasha colors 2/6 of her paper. The sheets of paper are the same size and shape. That's important. I'm gonna underline that. Who colors more of her paper and how do you know? Tell what strategy or tool you will use to answer the question, explain your choice, and then find the answer. So I have the fractions 5/6 and 2/6. So what I notice about these two fractions is that they have the same denominator. If fractions have the same denominator, I can just look at the numerator and see how many more parts are being counted, and the greater number on top means that there's more parts being counted. So 5/6 is greater than 2/6, so Megan colors more of her paper. So then you guys would write on your review, you would say, Megan colors more of her paper because 5/6 is greater than 2/6. I used the denominator strategy where the denominators are the same. I just count the numerators and the greater numerator is the bigger fraction. Number 5, Doug and Maria each have a waffle. The waffles are the same size and shape. Doug eats 2/3 of his waffle. Maria eats 5/6 of her waffle. Who has more waffle left? Explain. So my question is, who has more waffle left? So if Doug eats 2/3 of his waffle and Maria eats 5/6 of her waffle, I am comparing the fractions 2/3 and 5/6. Now, neither the numerators or the denominators are the same, but what strategy I can use is the missing piece strategy, because both of them have one piece away from being a whole waffle. 2 is 1 away from 3, and 5 is 1 away from 6. So, Doug has 1/3 missing, and Maria has 1/6 missing, or left over. So if we're imagining a waffle, you're eating the waffle. Doug eats 2/3 of his waffle, so 1/3 is left. Maria eats 5/6 of her waffle, so 1/6 is left. Now I can compare 1/3 to 1/6 and see which one is bigger to see who has more of the waffle left. So this one's kind of funny because it's almost like the opposite way of thinking. I just realized that because normally we have our waffle and we like shade it in to see what's missing, but in this one we don't. This one we're taking away. Oh, so really only one is shaded, right? That's pretty interesting. Okay, anyways, that was a bit of a tangent. So what is greater, 1/3 or 1/6? They have the same numerator now. 6 is going to be divided into smaller parts, and so those pieces, or excuse me, into more parts, and so those parts are going to be smaller. So 1/3 is greater. So Doug has more of his waffle left, and you would explain that they both have one missing piece left, or excuse me, one piece of the waffle left, and Doug's piece of the waffle is bigger than Maria's piece of the waffle. Let's draw this out. I'm going to time out and I'm going to explain this a little bit further because this is big. So let's put ourselves in this situation, because that opposite way of thinking, gosh, I don't want to just leave that. I want to continue working on that. Okay, so here are my two waffles. Maria's waffles, or Doug's waffles, is divided into thirds. Okay, so that's Doug's waffle, and then Maria's waffle is divided into sixths. Okay, so here's the whole waffle on the plate, and now with waffles, we don't shade waffles, we eat waffles. And so we're taking away these parts. So Maria ate 5/6, so I'm gonna erase 5 parts of the waffle. They're gone, she ate them. Okay, so that's what she has left over. Now Doug eats 2/3 of his waffle, so I'm gonna erase 2/3 of the waffle. That's how much waffle he has left to eat. So then we're comparing, okay, 1/6 and 1/3, which is greater. 1/3 is the greater piece. We could see that visually because the waffles are the same size and we divided them into equal parts, so we can trust our visual model. So that's pretty cool. Okay, does that make more sense now that I drew it out and like erased it as if they were eating it? Sometimes it's helpful to put ourselves in the situation and like really think about the story problem or what's happening. So I hope that was helpful. All right, just erasing the board. Next page, 418. It says, Paula and Joey each have equal sized tortillas. Paula cuts her tortilla into 8 equal pieces and eats 5 of them. This is the same situation as waffles, kind of. So far, we're eating something, so that's what's similar. Joey cuts her tortilla into 6 equal pieces and eats 5 of them. Who eats less? Explain how you found your answer. Use a drawing to help show your answer. So Paula cuts her tortilla into 8 equal pieces, so I'm going to do that now by drawing a plus sign and then cutting the plus sign in half. Just going across like that, like a star or an X. So then she eats 5 of them. So I'm gonna color in 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Ta-da! And then Joey cuts her tortilla into 6 equal pieces. So I'm gonna do the upside down Y to make thirds, and then I'm gonna cut the thirds in half. Do you see how knowing our multiplication facts is helpful for fractions? Is this all coming together? Why did I do it in thirds and then cut the thirds in half? Because 3 times 2 is 6. Pretty cool. So then she eats 5 of those pieces. So I'm going to color in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Who eats less? Explain how you found your answer. Use a drawing to help show your answer. So Paula is 5/8. Joey is 5/6. Okay, so they have the same numerator. So when we have fractions that have the same numerator, we look at the denominator to see how many pieces the whole is divided into, and that will tell us the size of those pieces. So Paula, she ate 5 of the 8s. Now the 8s are smaller than the 6s. And so if she eats 5 of them, it still covers a less space. So because they're the same size tortilla, we can trust our visual model and say that Paula eats less tortilla. Does that make sense? All right, number 7. What fraction does the number line show? Well, we have our number line and it goes from 0 to 1. So then I just need to count how many equal parts are in between 0 and 1. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4. So this number line is divided into 4 equal parts. So that tells me my denominator is 4. And then the dot is on the 1, 2, 3, third line. So it's 3 of the 4, 3/4. Okay, and then it says label the fraction 3/8 on the number line. So again, here's our number line, but now it's divided into 8 equal parts instead of 4. And so I'm going to count 3 of the 8s. 1, 2, 3. Right there. And then finally it says write less than, greater than, or equal to compare the fractions on the number lines. So what was the fraction that we found on the first number line? We have to fill it in the blanks. That fraction was 3/4. So looking at our number line and comparing where the dots are, which one is further? You can see that the number line is exactly the same length as each other. And so we can trust our model. And so this one is 1, 2, 3. This one is 1, 2, 3. But we have 3/4 and 3/8. So the sizes of the sections are different. So what should we say? 3/4 is farther along on the number line than 3/8. So 3/4 is greater than 3/8. That was the last problem. I hope that went well for you. I hope you are getting more and more familiar with fractions and feeling more confident about knowing how to compare them, knowing how to represent them, knowing how to think about them. So yeah, fractions are a lot of fun, and so I hope you're enjoying it. Let me know if you need anything. Love your guts. Bye.